Hello friends, this is TrillionDollar Silver making another video. Today we're going to be talking about how Bitcoin is backed. It's kind of hard to exactly track down all the different things that back Bitcoin and how much they play a role, but Bitcoin is backed by many things. It's backed by, mainly directly physically, it's backed by the computers, which keep track of all the Bitcoins and see where the Bitcoins are going. So Bitcoin mining is basically the same process that workers at the bank go through each day. They're transferring funds from one person to another, except Bitcoin doesn't leach funds out of the top like all banks do, especially the leaders of the banks. So basically, if it was your job to take care of all the money, of course you'd have plenty of money. Whether anybody else has money or not, you're going to have all the money you want at the time, or at least as much as you think. But now they are kind of starting to run out just because there's too many bankers. That's what's going on with that. But Bitcoin is backed by many things. It's backed by encryption, and I've seen videos that say it's not that encrypted, but the fact is that it's encrypted enough to where if someone tries to create a false transaction, the false transaction would cost $1 billion. And since that's that's a good percentage of the market cap, it's very unlikely that any transaction like that is going to be falsely passed without anybody questioning it. It's also backed up by the users who will track Bitcoin thieves. So we recently heard that 96,000 Bitcoins were stolen, and the thieves tracked the wallet of this person, except now that person's trying to basically money launder Bitcoins. It's backed up by the internet, it's backed up by notoriety, but it may not even necessarily be backed up by the internet, but Bitcoin is built upon lots and lots of different technologies, like electricity and the internet. So if the entire world somehow ran out of those two things that we need, electricity or the internet, which is pretty difficult to happen at this point, the entire human species would basically have to be wiped out or near wiped out, put back into caves. However, if that did happen, Bitcoin would be totally destroyed almost immediately. So, the world would have to pretty much be destroyed to take out Bitcoin without you being able to have any chance of getting your money out. Bitcoin is mainly backed up by the free market, so you know that the dollar is backed up by the US military, and the Bitcoin does not have a US military, or doesn't have a military. So the dollar has a military, Bitcoin doesn't have a military, but Bitcoin threatens the dollar. So somehow Bitcoin is just more efficient, and it just can take over the dollar through the free market. What else? It's backed up by time. Lots and lots of people have spent a lot of time either creating Bitcoin, putting Bitcoin together, mining Bitcoins, looking for Bitcoins, thinking about Bitcoins. This does back up Bitcoin. It's backed up by all the computers and the graphics chips, which are used to look for the Bitcoins. These are very expensive and have to be replaced often. It is possible that another type of currency, digital currency, could come about and replace Bitcoin. But if you're up in the digital currency scene, then you should know about this. Also, it's backed by businesses who use Bitcoin. So if a business decides to use Bitcoin, if they accept Bitcoins for their goods, or they pay for the goods they need to make their goods, if they pay for those goods with Bitcoin, then they are supporting Bitcoin. Individuals who use and support Bitcoin. So even if you don't actually use Bitcoins, if you just know about Bitcoin and think about Bitcoin in a positive light, then you do in a way support Bitcoin. Countries who use Bitcoin, like China, they definitely support Bitcoin. Russia promotes Bitcoin with its news station, Russia Today. So several different countries do support Bitcoin. And financial instruments, which are measured in Bitcoin, so they are now starting to basically sell stocks in Bitcoin, which means if you want to cash out your stock, then you would be paid in Bitcoin, and they are measured in Bitcoins. Initially, obviously, you could change the value into dollars. But all these different things back up the Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin is backed. I think that digital currencies are going to start to take over. They're so much more efficient. I still do support silver. People seem to think that you can't really support digital currencies and support precious metals at the same time. But I guess people aren't really realizing that Bitcoin does have backing. There are things which, it's like what backs a mutual fund? I guess the business that owns that mutual fund and all the people at that business. But Bitcoin's backed by lots and lots of different things, all the different things which make up and are involved with Bitcoin. What else? So please understand that Bitcoin is a revolutionary type of thing. It has value similar to gold and silver. It's certainly not the exact same, but we live in an age where digital currencies are necessary to it's necessary to have a digital currency to buy something from someone very far away, unless you want to pay for the cost every single time to ship gold to that person. And because of the fact that people are willing to run on promises for a temporary amount of time, there will always be people that they'll just be like, well, don't send me the gold this time, wait a couple times and send me the gold. And then just promises just build up. It's just a natural thing. So there's some necessity for a digital promise scheme organization. I'm not saying Bitcoin's going to last forever or Bitcoin's perfect, but the idea of Bitcoin is necessary and revolutionary and beneficial to society. Let me know what you guys think.